In 2013, a young woman was found dead inside a hotel water tank. But what investigators discovered before that made the entire internet question what really happened. A disturbing elevator video. A video where a young woman appears to be hiding from something that no one else can see. This is Case File Davoroso 3, the mysterious story of Elisa Lam. Elisa Lam was a 21-year-old student from Canada. In January of 2013, she began a solo trip across the United States. She had planned to document her journey and share her experiences online. Her final stop was Los Angeles, and the place she chose to stay would later become one of the most discussed crime locations on the internet, the Cecil Hotel. The Cecil Hotel had a long and disturbing reputation. For decades, the hotel had been connected to crime, violence, and unexplained deaths. In 1962, a woman named Pauline Otten jumped from one of the hotel windows and landed on a pedestrian below, killing them both instantly. The building had already gained a dark reputation long before Elisa ever arrived. During the 1980s, the serial killer Richard Ramirez, known as the Night Stalker, reportedly stayed at the hotel while committing a series of brutal murders across Los Angeles. Another killer, Jack Unterweger, also stayed at the hotel years later while committing murders in the city. Because of this history, many people believed the building carried a disturbing atmosphere. At first, Elisa's trip seemed completely normal. She visited local attractions, explored the city, and kept in contact with her family. But things began to change during her stay at the Cecil Hotel. Elisa was originally placed in a shared hostel-style room. Soon after arriving, other guests began to complain about her behavior. They described her as acting strangely. Because of these complaints, hotel management eventually moved Elisa to a private room. No one knew exactly what was causing her unusual behavior. But only a few days later, something even more concerning happened. On January 31st, Elisa Lam suddenly disappeared. She stopped contacting her family, she stopped posting online, and there was no sign of her anywhere in the hotel. Days passed with no answers. Then guests at the hotel began to report something disturbing. The water in the building looked dark. Some people said it tasted unusual. Others complained about weak water pressure in the showers. At the time, nobody knew the horrifying reason behind those complaints. As the search for Elisa continued, police released a security video from inside the hotel. The footage would soon spread across the internet and become one of the most disturbing surveillance clips ever analyzed. The video shows Elisa Lam entering an elevator. At first, everything seems normal. Then her behavior suddenly changes. She presses several elevator buttons at once. She steps outside the elevator and quickly looks down the hallway. Then she steps back inside. But the elevator doors remain open. For almost 2 minutes, they refuse to close. Elisa continues moving in and out of the elevator. Her movements appear nervous and unpredictable. At one moment, she presses herself against the wall of the elevator, almost as if she is hiding. Then she steps into the hallway and begins making strange hand gestures. Her hands move in unusual patterns, as if she is speaking to someone or reacting to something that the camera cannot see. Eventually, she walks away from the elevator and disappears down the hallway. This would be the last time Elisa Lam was ever seen alive. The footage spread rapidly across the internet. Millions of people tried to understand what they were watching, and almost everyone had the same question: what exactly was happening in that video? Some believed Elisa was being followed. Others believed she might have been hiding from someone nearby. Some investigators suggested her behavior could have been caused by a psychological episode. But because of the long and disturbing history of the Cecil Hotel, many people believed something even stranger might have happened. Weeks later, the mystery took a horrifying turn. A hotel maintenance worker was sent to inspect the water tanks on the roof of the building. Inside one of those tanks, he made a shocking discovery: the body of Elisa Lam. She had been inside the water tank that supplied water to the entire hotel. Investigators immediately noticed something unusual. The roof was not easily accessible. Some doors leading to the roof were supposed to remain locked. The tanks themselves were large and difficult to climb into, and the hatch covering the tank had been found closed. This raised disturbing questions. How did Elisa reach the roof? How did she get inside the tank? And why had no one seen her up there before? Eventually, authorities ruled the death as accidental drowning. Investigators suggested Elisa may have entered the tank herself. But for many people, the explanation did not answer the most troubling questions. Why was she behaving so strangely in the elevator? Why did the doors remain open for so long? And was she really alone that night inside the Cecil Hotel? More than a decade later, the mystery of Elisa Lam continues to fascinate investigators, journalists, and internet detectives around the world. Some believe the case was simply a tragic accident. Others believe something happened inside that hotel that has never been fully explained. And the question that still remains is the same one millions of people asked after watching that elevator video. What was Elisa Lam running from?